Cornerstone Retirement Partners presents Your Course to Retirement with Grand Rapids Certified Financial Planner Ron Corser and Nolan Gosley. Cornerstone Retirement Partners are planning today for the potential of tomorrow.
Here on Your Course to Retirement with CFP Certified Financial Planning Professional Ron Corser, CFP founder at Cornerstone Retirement Partners. Ron, always a pleasure to have you here guiding the course to retirement.
It's nice to be here, actually. It really is. And we've been talking about the 10 steps to retirement. And I probably could add the 10 steps to having a peace of mind, stress-free retirement, because that's what we're really all asking for, and that's what we need in retirement. So we've covered the first 5 steps of defining your budget, figuring out what kind of guaranteed income you have, meaning Social Security, annuity, premium, things like that, pensions, defining your income cap. And that's the difference between what you need after tax coming in every month and what these guaranteed sources of income will be, because that difference between what you need and what you know is going to come in on a guaranteed basis is what your life savings has to provide. It has to fill that income gap. And finally, do we have a Social Security strategy that we can count on? And then did we all put it together in the 5th step? Do we have a written income plan that shows where every dime is coming from every source of potential cash flow and income? So you know every month, on the first of the month, it's coming into your checkbook, and you don't have to sweat it. You don't have to worry about it. So those are the first 5 steps of trying to, come into this 10 steps to prepare for retirement. So in this episode, we're going to go through 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yeah, that's 5. I got that. Okay. So let's go. So what's the 6th one? Understanding your risk exposure. Understanding risk in any kind of financial plan is really important. It really is. Sometimes we think, well, I can take a lot of risk, or I'm good with the risk I have. And it's amazing when the markets go down. And this year it's been down as much as 25%. And now it's down about 15%. That's when we really find out what kind of risk takers we are, because we start to see losses in a financial plan. And when we see those losses, it does one of 2 things for us. It either creates a whole lot of, oh my goodness, what did I do? Or what's happening to my money? Or, okay, I think I'm going to be okay, but I'm not sure. But understanding risk in everything we do in life is important. What do I mean by that? Today in Grand Rapids, Michigan, it's a sunny day and the roads are really dry and everything is just dandy. It's a sunny day. The speed limit on the expressway is 70 miles an hour. You can drive 70 miles an hour today and you'll be fine. You can drive 45 miles an hour on the expressway and you'll get a whole bunch of people angry at you. Or you can drive 95 miles an hour on the expressway. Now, if you drive 70 or something lower than that, probably you're going to be okay. You just got to put up with a longer trip. But let's say you're going from here to somewhere else and it's going to take an hour. Driving 95 miles an hour and a 70 mile an hour speed limit will get you there faster, won't it? But what's the risk? The risk is twofold. Number one, you'll meet a state employee who hasn't had his donut. He'll bust you for reckless driving. Or maybe the worst thing is you'll have a wreck. You won't kill yourself, just mess yourself up. So you can drive 95 on a nice sunny day when roads are dry. Now think about this. In Grand Rapids, a couple of weeks ago, we had 8 inches of snow on the ground and another 6 was coming. The chances of being able to drive 95 miles an hour on the expressway is pretty slim. You can still try to do it, but chances are if you try, you're going to end up on one side of the road or the other, and you're going to need a tow truck to get you out. So understanding risk is really a key component of creating a retirement plan that makes sense to you. And we can help quantify, meaning we can actually put kind of like a speed limit on your portfolio, on your investments, showing you how much risk you have versus the market. A lot of times people will come in and they'll say, Ron, when we meet him for the first time, I got this investment plan and I think it's okay because I'm diversified. And I ask, what does that mean? They say, well, I got a little bit here, a little bit there. And I say, well, let me ask you a question. If the market goes down, will your portfolio lose 5% or 55%? And most times they don't know how to answer that question. We can actually provide an answer that says, look, this is how much risk. We can put a number on it, statistically show you how much risk you have versus the stock market. Do you have more, about the same, or less? It's okay to have whatever risk you think you're comfortable with, but you need to know the downside. You need to know, for example, if the market goes down 20%, what happens to my retirement income? Does it go down 10% or does it go down 35%? It's an important number to know, and we can help do a risk assessment in your current portfolio, and also if you allow us to create a suggested portfolio, we can compare the two to see which one might fit you better, because risk is really a personal thing. It really is. So if risk is something you're concerned about, or if risk is something you'd like to learn more about in your own strategy, your own portfolio, would you like to know how much risk you really have and how your portfolio will perform if the markets keep going down or they keep jumping around? If this is important to you, at Cornerstone Retirement Partners, we can help you put a number to that to really help you assess that. So give us a call, 616-301-2581, or go to our website, www.cornerstone-rp.com. Put your information in there. We will help you every which way we can, so you'll really understand, perhaps for the first time in your whole life, how much risk you really have in your investments. Does it make sense to you, and can you change it? So that's step number 6 in the 10 steps to retirement. What's the next one? How about if we talk about taxes? Every financial decision you make has a tax implication. Nobody likes to pay taxes. I've never met anybody that says, you know what, I just can't wait to meet my tax person because I hope I get to pay a lot in tax. I've never met anybody like that. But calculating taxes is an important thing to do in creating a retirement plan for you. Most people save in tax-deferred accounts, IRAs, 401k, 403b, that kind of 457s. Knowing that that money has never been taxed, but it's going to be taxed, is an important part of developing an income plan in retirement. Because remember, retirement income is primarily about after-tax income, not before tax. So trying to figure out how much you're really going to pay in tax, trying to fill what we used to call and have called that income gap, where if you have to draw money out of your IRA or 401k, it's going to be taxed. So if you need money out of that, you actually have to take out more than you need because you have to deduct the taxes involved. We can help you with an understanding of what's the tax implication of your investment strategy in your retirement plan, of the income strategy in your retirement plan. What kind of investments are you using? Some investments are more tax efficient, more tax advantaged than other investments. Do you have the right mix? Do you have a mix that makes sense to you? We can actually, when we create an income plan for you, we can have our own CPAs do a retirement income plan that shows the tax implications of what you're going to receive or have the impact on the money you're taking out. It's critical to know that because taxes are going to be with us. It's also important to understand that the money you have today in tax-deferred accounts over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years is probably going to be over time taxed at a higher rate than it is today. Why do I say that? Because taxes always go up. We know that. And we're in the lowest tax environment we're probably ever going to be in our lifetime. So here's a little nugget. The tax world that we're living in right now, if nothing changes, on January 2025, the current tax structure, income tax structure, goes back to where it was in 2017, which, for example, means the 10% bracket now becomes the 15, and so on. So the politicians today, they don't want to raise our taxes. But if they don't do anything, our taxes are going to go up. And it's important to understand that. So if the tax implication, if wanting to know what really the tax world is going to do to your life savings, give us a call. We can help you answer that question here at Cornerstone Retirement Partners. This is one of the 10 steps to retirement planning. It's number 6, calculating taxes. So call us at 616-301-2581 or go to our website, www.cornerstone-rp.com. Put your name, information in there. We'll reach out to you and help you. It's what we do, and it's what we've been doing for 27 years. And I'm not concerned at all that whoever calls us, we can be of help. I know we can do that. So we'll continue. What's step number 8? Well, sometimes we meet people who've done a really good job of saving, but they have 13 different accounts, 3 different IRAs, 2 401k plans, bank savings accounts, taxable investment accounts. They have it all in like one big room, but it's in different pieces. So sometimes there can be a real advantage of combining like accounts. What do I mean by that? Let's say you have 3 taxable accounts, a trust account, a joint account that you and your spouse have been investing in the markets, and an individual account that you just use to do your own investing. But there's different costs and fees in those. And sometimes managing all of them can be a bit of a challenge because there's so many places to look every day if you check your accounts, or every month, or every quarter. So sometimes not only can you save money, but you can create a more coherent, a more rational investment strategy if you're able to combine some of these same kinds of accounts and just put them all in one place. It's easier to manage. It may be certainly less expensive, and it gives you a much better understanding of how you're positioned to create whatever income you need to meet your retirement income goals. So being able to consolidate these things is really important. And another reason to do it in this one of these 10 steps to retirement is if you have 2 or 3 or 4 IRA accounts, when it comes to determining when you get to be 72, how you're going to handle the required distributions, you need to know what each one of them is going to require that you take out. You need to know what the total RMD, so to speak, for the retirement year is going to be. And you need to understand what's the best place to take it from different kinds of accounts. So we can help put all these together in some sort of manageable thing that makes sense to you in consolidating them all. So this is important. Call Cornerstone Retirement Partners. That's us, 616-301-2581, or go to our website, www.cornerstone-rp.com. Put your information in there, and we'll help you sort through all of this. The world record for us, and I've been doing this for 27 years, I had a client and still have a client. They had about 16 different accounts. And it was kind of an adventure helping them. I mean, I kind of got a kick out of it because that was the ultimate challenge. How do we make sense out of some of this? Well, we finally got it together to a point where it's manageable, but importantly, that's understandable. We need to understand where our money is and what it's doing, and we can help you with that. So give us a call here at Cornerstone Retirement Partners, 616-301-2581, and we'll help you with that. So what's number 9? Oh, this is one that everybody's concerned about this year, and that's inflation. Oh, my goodness. What are we going to do about inflation? Well, there's really nothing that we can do as individuals about it. I mean, we have to learn how to navigate it. We have to learn how to make decisions that will minimize the impact of inflation on our retirement assets. Inflation is always with us. You know, this year it's been as high as 8.5. It's down to about 7.5 or so. What people don't comprehend sometimes or really focus on, inflation goes up every year, whether we have crazy inflation like we have now, or the 1 or 2% that we supposedly had a couple of years ago. Inflation is always there. So when we create an investment plan, an income plan in retirement, trying to figure out what are the most tax advantage ways to invest money in taxable accounts, or what should we do about taking money out of different accounts, understanding the impact of inflation is really important. And how do you do that? Well, you have to make sure, number one, that you minimize losses. One of the things that people talk about is, well, historically, the best way to deal with inflation is the stock market. And I'll give some credence to that. It is, because over the last 110 years, the stock market has gone up an average of 7.1% a year. But guess what? This year, the stock market didn't go up. It's down as much as 25%, and recently about 15%. So if you've taken a 15% loss in your retirement accounts, here's a key question. Have you kept up with inflation? Your retirement accounts have lost 15%. Inflation is 7.5 to 8. Have you kept up with inflation? You have less money now than you started the year with, and inflation's gone up. Most people would answer that question after thinking about it, saying, no, I really don't. And see, that's the key issue. When we deal with averages and dealing with inflation, the market rarely hits an average. What we really need to do to combat inflation is the following. Number one, if we've had a chance to do it prior to retirement, have we created some accounts that are tax-free, like a Roth account? Did we develop a Roth strategy early enough in retirement to really make it meaningful? It doesn't mean the value of a Roth account can go down, but we've already paid tax on that money. So eliminating tax on the money going forward helps us manage the impact of inflation on our retirement. In our taxable investment accounts, do we have the right kind of investments that are tax advantaged? Key question. Mutual funds, a lot of them are not tax efficient. So maybe having different kinds of accounts in your taxable accounts would make more sense. But having a conversation with a competent financial advisor, which we are here at Cornerstone Retirement Partners, about the impact of inflation on our investment strategy and retirement plan, critically important. Because whether they get a handle on this inflation and it gets back to 2%, who knows when that's going to happen, or if it keeps going up. The fact is, every year inflation impacts our lifestyle. And right now, we're all faced with the really common experience, right? We're paying more to heat our home, to pay for electricity, to buy groceries, any number of things. So having a handle on this idea of inflation is really important. And it's a conversation that we have always with people about the impact of inflation on our whole retirement life savings and plan. Even if you're in retirement, there are still things you can do to minimize the impact of inflation on your accounts. So if this is important to you, give us a call here at Cornerstone Retirement Partners, 616-301-2581. That's 616-301-2581, or please go to our website, www.cornerstone-rp.com. That's www.cornerstone-rp.com. Put your information in there, and we'll reach out to you. And also, you can tune in to today's program by going to our website at www.cornerstone-rp.com. You can hear all of this one. You can hear the one we did previously, which is the first 5 steps of the 10 steps to retirement, and all the other radio programs and blogs that we put out. It's good information, ladies and gentlemen, and it doesn't take a lot of time, but it can help you make educated and great decisions on your financial future. So we've touched on the first 9 of the 10 steps going into a retirement plan. What's the 10th one? Here's one that I call this the round to it one. You know, the round to it. I'm going to get around to it first chance I get. And that's to review and update your estate plans. Everybody has an estate. And we like to think that, well, we got that covered. So what are the things that I always see coming in when people answer the question? I ask them, tell me about your estate plan. The first thing they say is, well, I have a 401k and an IRA. And I say, that's not an estate plan. Those are investment accounts. An estate plan is, who are your beneficiaries? If God calls you home today, what happens to all of your accounts, your financial accounts? Who gets them? Where do they go? Are they going to be probated, or have you put beneficiaries on them? And beneficiaries even mean putting beneficiaries on your checking, savings, and other bank accounts. You can do that. Just go down there and say, I want to put beneficiaries on my investment accounts with the bank here. And you have a form you can use. It's either called a TOD, a transfer on death, or POD, payable on death. So that's the first part. Secondly, what kind of assets do you have? Do you have a home? And maybe you've got a cottage down in Florida, or maybe at the lake. You might have to put some of that into a trust. Now, we're not lawyers. We can't create trust documents. We work with some really great ones, but we can at least say, this is something you need to consider because it has an estate issue or an estate tax issue, depending on the value of your estate. Do you have a durable power? What is that? Well, what if you become incapacitated? Who gets to stand in your gap? Who gets to stand up for you? I tell married couples, my wife Nancy and I, a long time ago when she got into this business, she was in a different industry. And so she wanted to call and see how much we had in our 401k here at the company and some IRAs. And they wouldn't tell her. And she got mad. And I said, babe, you have to understand, it's my account. You don't have the right to know, and they can't tell you. But if you have a durable power of attorney, you can use that document that gives you the right to make decisions for me or get access to the money in my name without going through a whole ugly process. And so once she understood that, it was a lot better. So one of the things we always ask our clients is, if you have an estate plan, is let's give us a copy of your durable power. Because while you're alive, you may have an automobile accident or something go wrong. Somebody has to take care of your finances. And that's what that document does. Another one is, do you have a healthcare power? Who's going to say what needs to be done if, you're in the hospital and they need to do something? So these are basic steps you need that put the whole plan together. And this is the 10th step out of 10 steps to prepare for retirement, is get your estate plan together. And it's not something we like to do, but it's something that once you do it, it's not that difficult. We can help walk you through the steps. We can introduce you to several law firms if you need legal documents that we're not allowed to prepare. But we can help you with that. And it's critically important because nobody wants to leave a mess. I've never met anybody that wants to leave a mess. So having the estate plan put together, updated, is the last step in the 10 steps to having a retirement income plan and preparing for it. So we've covered 10 steps. Define your budget. What kind of income gap do you have? What are the sources of guaranteed income? Do you have a strategy on Social Security? What's the best way to do it? Have you got a written income plan? Do you understand, number 6, your risk exposure? How do you calculate the tax impact of what we've done for you to help you with that? Have you kind of consolidated your financial plans so they're more manageable and maybe they'll cost you less? Have you have a plan? Do you've talked about inflation? And finally, number 10, do you have an estate plan to kind of wrap this all up in a nice, pretty bow? So we've covered a lot here. This is the second part of 6 through 10. But if this is important to you, we can help you with this. So give us a call at Cornerstone Retirement Partners, 616-301-2581. That's 616-301-2581. Go to our website, www.cornerstone-rp.com. Put your information in there. We'll reach out to you. Also, if you go to our website, you can listen again to today's little blog. You can go listen to the first 5 steps that we just did previously, and all the other programs there. They're great places to get a little bit of those financial nuggets that everybody needs to get through whatever's coming down the road. Now, a lot of times we talk about prepare, we talk about be aware of this, be aware of that. Understand something, that the more time you allow us to help you prepare for retirement, the more time you'll have to enjoy retirement. It gets down to something that's simple, because we can help you create the plan. We can help you put in a process to review it, to make sure it's up to date, to make sure that whatever's happened on the outside world, that you're prepared and covered for that, to make sure that your tax world does not get out of style or does not blow up on you. Make sure the investments that you have still mask and still come up with your risk profile. It's all about creating a plan that makes sense in writing and then following up on it. So if this is important, it's something you'd like, ladies and gentlemen, give us a call. Cornerstone Retirement Partners, 616-301-2581, or go to our website, www.cornerstone-rp.com. Put your information in there and we'll reach out to you. We can and will help you. So other than that, I hope you have a great holiday season, that the Lord blesses you on Christmas. Give us a call if you need help or you want information on your retirement plan. Other than that, take care. Thanks for listening, and tune in for what we got coming next.
Tune into Cornerstone Retirement Partners' full radio program, Your Course to Retirement, Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock at News Radio WOOD, or visit cornerstone-rp.com for many valuable resources, including those mentioned on this show and other great episodes of Your Course to Retirement.
The content of this radio show is provided for informational purposes only and is not a solicitation or recommendation of any investment strategy. You are encouraged to seek investment, tax, or legal advice from an independent professional advisor.
Ed Slott's Elite IRA Advisor Group is solely an indication that the financial advisor has attended training provided by Ed Slott and Company, passed biannual examinations on material covered at conferences and in webinars, and met other membership requirements, and does not constitute an endorsement of any kind. Ed Slott's Elite IRA Advisor Group members pay a fee for the educational programs that allow them to be included in the Ed Slott's Elite IRA Advisor Group. Membership does not guarantee investment success. Fiduciary duty extends solely to investment advisory advice and does not extend to other activities such as insurance or broker-dealer services.
Advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, a registered investment advisor.
Advisory clients are charged a quarterly fee for assets under management, while insurance products pay a commission, which may result in a conflict of interest regarding compensation.
Any investments and/or investment strategies mentioned involve risk, including the possible loss of principal. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not refer in any way to securities or investment advisory products. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals or growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes.